For many, Ragnarok Online has been a huge part of the early 2000s, introducing the MMO genre to large amount of people and has seen big success, especially in Asia. And even after a decade, the popularity of the game has remained strong, which, as expected, resulted to spawning of a sequel for this much beloved game. However, for many, the new games has not really justified being the sequel of the OG version, with complaints ranging from the character design to world building mechanics. And after only several years, further development has stopped, leaving Ragnarok Online without a real successor. It took a while, but after another half a decade, a new game was finally released while keeping the spirit of the original, through Dream Square's Ragnarok Mobile Eternal Love. The success of the Eternal Love has caught the eyes of other developers, and even if the player base has dwindled for the past months, as expected of an MMO, or in any game actually, there are still thousands of players in EL, and thousands more are waiting for a new game. Enter the Ragnarok First Love from Tencent and Ragnarok Birth of New Generation from Gravity. Two new IPs has suddenly popped up thanks to the global success of Eternal Love. But with these two new games still being a mobile MMO, this begs us the question, what are the differences among these three? Well, stay put as we try to discuss and compare these games. First things first, let's discuss the very obvious, the graphics. Although the differences in graphics fidelity among the three games are not as mind-blowing as between the OG version and Eternal Love, it cannot be denied that the newer games took advantage of the newer technology, which makes it graphically superior, although quite minimally. With Tencent's Ragnarok First Love as an improved version with the same art style as Eternal Love, while Gravity's new generation having a more unique art style which has thicker character outlines, giving it a sometimes 2D look reminiscing of the OG version even though it's full 3D by itself. The art style preferences between the FL and NG depends on one's taste, but there is a clear improvement in graphical quality from EL to the newer games, with the expense that newer games needs more demanding hardware. Up next is about the game UI. As for the moment, EL is still using straight to horizontal bar for your skills and items, which is not really optimized for mobile usage. Both FL and NG on the other hand has adopted the standard skill wheel for easier skill usage, with the items that can be popped in and out on the top of the skill wheel. A little quality of life improvement there, but an improvement nonetheless. Also, it is very much worth noting that the newer games give us back the ability to rotate the camera at will, unlike in EL with a fixed camera perspective. Both FL and NG can do 2.5D, which was the setting on the original RO, and a full 3D perspective if you so desire. It is arguably the best improvement we got from these newer versions of the game. Now, let's talk more about the more important topic, which is the world, map designs, and monsters. All three games features the world map of the OG version, but they also have different interpretations on each area of the map. In Eternal Love, aside from the towns, which are almost copied from the original version, each grinding maps are notably different, with different monster locations and adding new mini-bosses such as the Orc Baby. In New Generation, it also features its own take with its map design, but the difference here is that each region has been a lot bigger, as instead of having map area as single area, 2 or more maps are actually covered in a single area, giving New Generation a larger world to explore before hitting that portal and loading screen. Given that the area is not really as big as if you actually combine those 2 or more regions in other versions, but this design gives New Gen a more bigger world to explore and more monster in each areas to grind. And with this, it's not surprising that the monster location are also different compared to the OG version, but so far, we have not seen new kinds of mini-bosses added like what EL have. Last but not the least, we have the First Love from Tencent. And oh boy, how nostalgia hit me hard with this map design, copied 1:1. Not all maps are present, but those that are in-game are easily recognizable. The skull design in Bielan Island, the screaming ghost in Payon East, How about the Archer's Village in north of Pion? Or go to the portal and enter the Pion dungeon with only zombies, skeletons, pupperings, and familiars being your enemy. This literally makes me quite love this version so much, as it brings back old memories on the countless of hours I have personally spent grinding in both Pion Dungeon and in Bielan Island. The monsters are also so far being faithfully located to its original version, but they are still bounded in an area rather than being able to roam all over the map. With this, the bosses are also expected to be the same from the OG version and are located also in the same place. The boss, or rather known as MVPs by the way, are implemented way better in First Love and New Generation, with multiple HP bar and no crazy one-hit skills. It literally needs an army to beat a single MVP. About the quest system, in both EL and New Gen, the new games mostly features a fetch and kill quest with occasional cutscenes far in between. On First Love however, I think it has one of the best quest system in all mobile MMOs I've played so far. Aside from the fetch and kill quest that we have, FL also features quest which requires you to infiltrate areas using different disguises, from being a poison spore to being a praying nun. There are unique twists in each of the quests, giving it a fresh feeling every time you do one. But what makes it a lot better is about the quest that lets you play as some OP character, just like this quest that features the Lord Knight Siren himself. Being able to 1 vs 1 Edgar and having a glimpse of transcendent skills gives you a sense of excitement that you, yourself, will be able to use those skills in the future. What more is that each of the quests really gives you a glimpse on the lore of Ragnarok, such as about the death of the Princess of Runeterra, which in the other versions can only be found out by reading Bard Tales. It is far from the Witcher level kind of quest, but it is a huge improvement compared to all other mobile MMO games. Still related with the quest system, we now go to the class systems. All three versions has faithfully copied the original classes, though at the moment, we haven't really seen the 2-2 classes in FL and NG. All versions also has some added skills compared to the original, which they do as a form of balance to each game. The difference on the other hand is on how job change is being handled. In Eternal Love, you have all the job masters in Runeterra Adventurers HQ, which you go talk and complete a series of quests to advance. In New Gen, it followed a newer version of original game with all the job masters in Islud to change for first job. While I think the quest for the second job is still not yet complete, as you just need to talk a person in Giffen to advance. In First Love, again, I am very delighted to see the class advancement quest following the earlier versions of the original game, like how you need to go through a maze in Islud to become a swordsman, and you needing to complete some quest in Giffen to become a mage. The quest requirement is not completely copied, but they have actually improved on it. Same is also true with the second job, where you go to Runeterra Knights HQ to become a knight, or go to Morok's Assassin's Guild to become an assassin. It's amazing doing these quests, and I am just thoroughly impressed with the quest system of this game. Up next, we have the grind. Ragnarok has not always been about you being max level immediately, but more on your journey towards the max level. This makes the grind a very important aspect of the game. As mobile games however, auto-grind features has always been a mainstay, and all three games has its own unique version of stamina system to limit the amount of AFK grinding you can get per day. Of course, you can extend it with some cash items, which brings us out to the next topic, is it pay to win? Well, I don't really want to cover this topic much, but all I can say is to keep your expectations low. I myself is willing to buy some things in the cash shop to support the devs and enjoy the game, but I don't really expect to be even near the top. The last one we have is the crafting and weapon system. All three games features a crafting system which lets you use miscellaneous drops to craft equipments. In New Gen however, it also added a new mining feature to get different kind of ores to craft an item. At the same time, this also adds an energy system that recovers over time, which is shared between mining and crafting, and may also be used on other mechanics added in the future. For now though, it thus feels half-baked and serves just as an annoying diversion. What I love, however, is that in New Gen marks the return of the two-handed weapons, which are not really present in the other two games. With this, you have the ability to choose between being able to deal a much higher damage with two-handed equipments or being able to have other effects like higher defense with the use of one-handed weapons plus an offhand. This little mechanic gives a great impact on how you play the game. A little more note also is that in new generation, your weapons can actually be seen on your back if you are not using it. Not really such a groundbreaking element, but it is a sweet little detail I really love about it. So that's it for now. There may be other things I failed to mention, but so far, I have covered the major differences among the three games. What do you think about it? Which Ragnarok version are you most awaiting to play? Tell us in the comment section below. Peace!